we can still double in market cap. So this token could easily have a 77 to 80% increase in the next bull run. I'm always on the lookout for a low cap project that has high potential for the next bull run. And the project that I want to share with you today is Architico Finance. Now, one of the reasons why I'm bullish on this token is the fact that it is built on the Stacks protocol, and there's lots of developments happening on Stacks and an upgrade that's going to make this decentralized application an awful lot more popular. Architico Finance is a DeFi application, and it's an open source DeFi application that anybody can build on top of. It allows for you to collateralize tokens and borrow against those tokens using the Stacks blockchain. And if you go to the website, the first thing that you see here, which is really interesting, is that what if loans could repay yourself? And then it says get rewarded to borrow, no need for monthly payments. So some of the features are that it has a stable coin, which is USDA. Now, Architico Finance was only released at the end of 2021. And it hasn't yet actually seen a bull run, and liquidity is quite low at the moment. So although they have this stable coin, I'm going to be straight up and honest, for the first number of months, probably the first year, they found it quite hard to keep the peg on this stable coin. But as the liquidity on this protocol grows, the stablecoin will be able to keep its peg an awful lot easier. So if you're looking at the price of USDA, don't be fazed by the fact that it hasn't kept its peg, because liquidity is really low, and as it grows, it will much easier keep its peg. There's also a DEX available on Architico Finance. There is staking, so their native token is the DECO token. And you can stake this DECO token and earn extra rewards, and you can also then vote on governance proposals. It's also a governance token, and you can vote on the governance proposals as long as you have staked your DECO token. Now do stay tuned later on in the video, because I will explain in detail why I think this token has the ability to do really, really well in the next bull run. So first of all, Architico is a decentralized non-custodial liquidity protocol where users can collateralize their Stacks tokens and borrow stable coins called USDA. This enables you to gain increased liquidity in the form of a soft peg US dollar stablecoin while maintaining original asset exposure. Your Stacks tokens generate a yield which pays back the USDA loan automatically over time. And at current yields, it may take about 3 years to pay back your loan completely. So there's no need to worry about monthly payments. Now, how does it do this? Well, it does this using the Stacks protocol and the stacking mechanism on the Stacks protocol. So is it safe to use? In short, yes, they're using Clarity. So Clarity is the language of the Stacks blockchain. And it's used to build all the smart contracts, which are transparent. And you can see insights all the time. They also undergo regular security audits as well. So where does my yield come from? Stablecoin yield is generated by Stacks consensus mechanism called proof of transfer. So this is how you stack your Stacks and you earn your rewards back. So you can find out more information about that here. How do self-repaying loans work? In order to make use of a self-repaying loan, you need to have Stacks token. Once you have your Stacks token, you can deposit these in the Architico vaults as collateral. You can then, against this collateral, you're able to borrow or mint USDA. The USDA can then be used to get involved in other DeFi, such as staking or borrowing. So your Stacks tokens will be stacked in the proof of transfer and will automatically be used to pay off the borrowed Stacks. Can you be liquidated is also important. Like every protocol, borrowing protocol out there, you can be liquidated, but we're going to go through some of this as we start to look at the app. But you always have to make sure that you have sufficient collateral to keep your position healthy for this. So let's jump into the app itself and have a look at the app itself for a moment. Now, as I said, I have been using this app and I find it quite easy to use and fairly easy to understand. So when you open up the app, you are entered into their swap. So this is a normal swap that you'd be used to using and you'd be used to looking at. So I'm not going to go through this in much detail. What I'm going to do is I'm going to hop straight over to the staking option. Now in the staking option, we can see that we can stake the native token DECO, and the current APR on that is 7.97%. Now there is a cooldown period of a couple of days on this, and currently on Stacks, the block time is the same duration as a block time on Bitcoin, which is quite long when you're sitting there waiting for a transaction to happen. It can take up to 30 minutes. However, that's not always going to be the case. There is an upgrade coming to Stacks in a couple of months' time that's going to greatly reduce this block time on the Stacks protocol. So it's not the same block speed as what's used on Bitcoin, but it will still use Bitcoin as the finality. You can also stake your USDA, and we can see that I have some USDA staked here and it's paying 29%. Now this goes into one of the liquidation pools, and I'm going to go through that in a couple of minutes. Now we also then have liquidity provider tokens. So we can see there are some active pools at the moment. So we have some stable coin pools. We have XUSD to USDA, we've DECO to USDA, and we've Stacks to USDA, which is currently paying around 50%. We also have XBitcoin to USDA as well in there as a pool. Now the rewards that you get here are DECO rewards, and stay tuned because I'm going to tell you why this DECO token really has an opportunity to multiply in the next bull run, and if you can accumulate some DECO tokens, it would be in your favor. Obviously not financial advice. We're going to go into borrow now before we look at liquidations. And when you're borrowing, what you have to do is you have to add some tokens to a vault, and then you can borrow against that vault. So here at the moment, we can enter in Stacks, XBTC and Auto Alex. So you can borrow with the amount of stacks I have. I could borrow 556 USDA. The liquidation ratio is 140%. It shows there the liquidity available and the stability fee, which is the interest that you're paying. Now, don't forget, as we mentioned earlier, that you're going to be stacking your stacks when you enter in here, and the rewards that you earn are automatically going to be used to repay this loan. You can also stack Bitcoin and Auto Alex. So we just go in and we will have a look at this for a second to show you how it works. So we can see we have two options. We can have 140% liquidation ratio or 130%. We see the stability fee, the liquidation penalty. So this is the penalty that you pay when your vault gets liquidated. Then you have the current debt and the maximum debt. So you can see how much is currently borrowed. There is over 1.4 million borrowed, but there's 3.5 million is the maximum that you can borrow. So let's select choose here just to show you how this works. So we have how much stacks do we want to collateralize. Let's say I put in the maximum amount of stacks here. Now, once I put these in here, they begin to stack and to earn rewards using the stacking mechanism. Then we can decide how much we want to borrow. Now, the most we can borrow is 555. Let's just hit max there for a moment. And when we do that, it fills this box here with all the data that we need. So what it's telling us is that if Stacks reaches 58 cents, we're going to be liquidated. It shows us the current Stacks price, the stability fee, and the liquidation ratio and the liquidation penalty. Now, a good rule of thumb would be to keep your collateral to debt ratio at about 200%. So in that case, let's just put in 400, that we only wanted to borrow 400 USDA against the stacks that we have. This way now, our debt to collateral ratio is 256%. So we've got a lot of maneuver here, a lot of room. The liquidation price of stacks will come down to 42 cents. So that's almost a 50% drop on the current price, probably about a 45% drop on the current price. So the chances of being liquidated when you have a higher collateral to debt ratio become less and less. So once you decide on the amount of collateral that you want to borrow, or the amount of USDA that you want to borrow and mint, you can then press continue. This then will give you, or will mint you, USDA into your account, and you can go ahead and use this USDA in other pools on the ecosystem. So you can stake it. So you could stake it in the USDA pool here, which I currently have done. Or you can add it to any of these liquidity provider pools here. Now, what happens if you are liquidated? Well, if you are liquidated, or if you stake into the liquidation pool here, so I have some in the liquidation pool here, what happens is the vault will automatically go up for sale when it's liquidated. Now, on many protocols, you need to have a lot of knowledge when it comes to liquidation and being able to go in and bid on or buy those vaults. But because we have this liquidation pool in USDA here, which I have added to, it gives everybody the opportunity to take part in the liquidation. So anybody can check to see if anything has been liquidated, and you press there to check the actual rewards. Now, if any of the vaults need to be liquidated, what will happen is the stacks that are in that vault, you'll get a portion of them, and you'll get them as X stacks because you have provided to this liquidity pool. And if you want to trade them for stacks, first of all, you need to redeem them, and then you can trade them for stacks. So if you're holding USDA and you have it in that liquidity pool, you will earn some of the liquidations that have happened on the protocol. If you do add to this pool, we can see there is a 29% return on this pool. It is worth noting that when you lock in for 4,320 blocks, which I think is probably about a month. I'm not 100% sure at the moment, but I think it's about a month that you're actually locked into this for. So do keep that in mind, that you're locked in then when you add to that particular liquidity pool. Now, there is a governance tab here where they have all the different votings. There's nothing open for voting at the moment. And they also have detailed analytics that shows how open and transparent that they are. So it shows us the total value lock, the vaults, the swap. You can also go into different balances on all of the different contracts as well. So why do I think this token is, or this project is, a really good project? Well, first of all, it's built on top of Stacks, and Stacks uses Bitcoin for finality. Now, Bitcoin is one of the most decentralized tokens that are out there, and for anybody that is keen on Bitcoin and as a value store, you may still want to be able to unlock some of the liquidity that you have on the Bitcoin blockchain. So one of the upgrades that's happening on Stacks this year is that you're going to have a pegged Bitcoin. Now, pegged Bitcoin is much different to a wrapped Bitcoin or to a bridge from Bitcoin across to Stacks. So it's going to allow you to move collateral directly from the Bitcoin blockchain, because it can read directly to the Bitcoin blockchain. It's going to allow you to move your Bitcoin directly from the Bitcoin blockchain, unlock the liquidity, and use the Architico finance protocol or any other protocol that's built on top of Architico. And that upgrade is happening really, really soon. There's also an upgrade happening on another DeFi protocol that is built on top of Stacks called Alex. And Alex has just literally this week opened up a bridge between Ethereum and Stacks, allowing for additional stable coins to be moved across. And I'm expecting to see additional pools here now. And I know it's in the roadmap for Architico Finance to allow this stable coin to be used within the staking pools here so people could swap between it as well. So there are two of the things that make me quite bullish. Now, as well as that, the team itself are quite well known. There was recently the Bitcoin Olympics, which was a hackathon, and the founder of Architico Finance did present at that, and it was such an interesting talk to listen to, and definitely a very impressive team, a very impressive founder that is working behind this. Now let's hop over and have a look at the price on this. Now the current price is only 5 cents. We've had a bad day in the market. All tokens have crashed, so I'm not too concerned about this drop of 14% here. But what I will say is, since its launch, so the project launched in the bear market. It launched in December 2021 when things have been going down, and this project has not seen an uptick, a big uptick or a bull run in the market. Its current ranking is not even applicable at the moment. In terms of its tokenomics, the maximum supply is 100 million tokens, and the fully diluted market cap is 5.1 million, assuming that all tokens were minted. Now, all tokens haven't been minted, only 35, nearly 36% of them have. Unfortunately, looking at the chart, it is quite scary. You can see that many people did dump the token as they were earning it. They were farming it and obviously dumped the token as they were farming it. But as this protocol grows, when we start to get our pegged Bitcoin, now that we have the bridge bringing over tokens from Ethereum, this protocol, the need for this, the actual utility for this governance token is actually going to start kicking in very, very soon. So I'm not too concerned about how this chart looks. It's down 95% since the token launched, but since its all-time low 5 months ago, it's up 8,500%. I think this token has huge potential and can easily 80x in the next bull run. Now, where am I getting a crazy 80x from? Well, I think this token could quite easily, based on the team, based on the actual project, based on what it's trying to achieve, the fact it's one of the first DeFi projects that is on top of stacks using Bitcoin for finality, that this could easily make its way up to a top 250 token. Now, if we jump over and have a look at the current token at 250, we can see that this has a fully diluted market cap of 194 million. Let's open up our trusty calculator for a minute, and we put in 194 million, and we're going to divide that by 5 million, because that's the current market cap of Architico Finance. And we can see there that we get a 38.8x on this token, taking all things equal and us moving to a top 250 token. Now that's under current prices, but we have to remember, and I'm going to jump over here now and have a look at the market cap chart. And our current market cap, we're only sitting at 1.3 billion. And at our all-time high, we were at 3 billion. So we can still double in market cap. So if we multiply that by 2, we can still double in market cap. So this token could easily have a 77 to 80% increase in the next bull run. So if you had $1,000 worth of this token at the moment, and it does do an 80x, you'd be looking at 80,000 value of your portfolio of this at the moment. So if all of that wasn't enough for you, there are more projects that I have reviewed. So why don't you click on the video on the screen now to find out more.